this Kansas City. Shit's ran gritty. In the summertime, the chicks be damn pretty. Born in the projects, then to the Ville.
Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Y'all, these nails, I'm gonna have to just let y'all know real quick. It was a messed up at the nail shop. I was in a rush, didn't have time to get them fixed. So I have this gel nail mood color polish that I didn't know was mood color polish. I thought I was getting this brownish color, but as y'all see, due to the temperature, it changes to green. So this bottom half of my nails, I guess, are warm because they green, and this top part right now is brown. So anyway, you guys, today's story time is going to be about my first panic attack. Oh my God. Let me tell y'all something. I did not realize how many people had panic attacks. Like, that stuff is so scary. So this actually happened last year in November of last year. So let me let you guys know, I am going to have to bring up some other details in order for you to understand why this panic attack came about. So last year, a lot of things were going on. My oldest daughter, she was having a hard time at school with the girls. This group of girls she hung with or used to hang with and then tried to disassociate herself with them, it just was going boom. It was just going out of control. And I was tired of the teachers calling me because my daughter was getting into a fight, or somebody was messing with my daughter, or it was just a every week thing. I was getting phone call after phone call. I had to have meetings with parents. My oldest daughter, she's a chunky girl. She takes after her mother. And my daughter is 12, by the way. But she was having issues with these girls at her school. One week they was her friends. The next week they wasn't her friends. You know, if she had a certain thing, they'd be her friends again. They were 6th graders. So a lot of stuff happened. Brawl, fights in the cafeteria with her and other girls. It fell off into the neighborhood when they came home from school. Just fight after fight after fight. And, you know, my daughter used to be real timid and stuff. And I told her she need to get out of that. Like, you're not going to let these girls punk you. I done talk to their parents. You know, we done talk to teachers. But if them little girls touch you, you know, I told you to throw them hands. So, that's that. That was, you know, starting to irritate me. Because every time the school's number popped up, I knew it wasn't anything good. It had to do with one of my kids. So, that was one thing. Then I had got booked to do a very large wedding to do the bridal party's makeup. And y'all, that was my first time doing makeup on anybody else, especially 9 people. You know, I had help. My little cousin helped me, but it was kind of overwhelming because I was nervous because I did my makeup and I learned stuff off YouTube, you know. I did my makeup. I did my mom's makeup before and my little cousins for prom, but never an entire bridal party. The fact that this was someone's wedding day, I did not want their makeup to be a disaster. And you know how people are with their faces and they want this and they want that. The bride was adamant about what she wanted on her bridesmaids and what she wanted on herself. You know, stuff didn't start exactly on time how it was. I was there when I needed to be, but you know, it's someone's wedding day. Stuff doesn't always go to plan, so I had to rush towards the end to get a lot of their makeup done, but everything turned out well. But y'all, I was so nervous leading up to her wedding day. We did a consultation that went good, so I knew what makeup I was going to be doing. But y'all, it was just, I was scared that the bridesmaids weren't going to like their makeup, and then maybe she wouldn't have liked her makeup. You know, I didn't know what to think, but that was weighing heavy on me. And once I got, also one of my good friends, she passed away last year. She actually passed away on my actual birthday. and we were high school friends. We were really, really cool, really close. That was my girl. A lot of people didn't care for her too much or whatnot, but we was cool. That was my homegirl. Another thing that had still been weighing on me so heavy, and also, you guys, I still hadn't gotten over completely my mother's death. She died in 2014, and like, it just was just so much stuff. But you know, I felt like I can handle it. I'm a black woman. I got this under control. I can handle this. You know, stuff happens. You know, people deal with this stuff all the time. Like, I was thinking, I'm gonna be fine. I'm good. You know, my mother, she's out of pain. My friend Victoria was out of pain. I got done with that wedding with no issues. My daughter's school situation had kind of somewhat simmered down a little bit. And, you know, I thought I was going to be good. So after doing the wedding makeup, my cousin and I, you know, we went our separate ways afterwards. You know, I gave her her cut for helping me or whatever. And, you know, I was heading home. So I got home that night, and Terrence, you know, he wanted to, you know, go out and do something. And I think I did too. We had the boys, the girls were with their dad, and we were going to do something that night. So this was on a Saturday. So I was sitting in the kitchen with Terrence, and all of a sudden, y'all, like, my heart started beating so fast, and I started getting this sharp pain in my chest, and I just felt like my body was going numb, and I kind of just shook it off because it kind of scared me, but I shook it off. So anyway, we ended up leaving it, and I told Terrence, you know, I would drive. So while I'm driving, this feeling is trying to come back, and like, I started to get kind of scared, like, something's wrong with me. Like, what's wrong with me? So I told Terrence, I need to pull over, like, right now. I need to pull over. And he was like, okay. So I pull over, and he continues driving. So the whole time I'm in the passenger seat, like, I just have this feeling. I try to play with my son, turn around in the car and play with my sons and talk to them for the feeling to go away. But it's like it would go away, and then I could feel like it was trying to come back. So I just shook it off. We got back home. We got our movies. We got our food or whatever, and we were eating. While we were eating, that feeling was coming back, and this time it was feeling a little stronger, and the chest sharpness was getting stronger. So then I was like, okay, no, something's wrong with me. I didn't know. I thought I was about to have a heart attack or something. I was like, something's wrong with me. Like, I need to go to the hospital. So Terrence, he got the boys together, and we went to the hospital. So we get there, and luckily, not a lot of people were there. They take me into the little, you know, when you first get to the hospital, they take you in that little back room just to check your vitals and all that. And they put these little sticker things on my chest. Well, first they checked my blood pressure, which my blood pressure was fine. And then they put these little sticker things like on my chest and on my side. And I guess they were doing like a heart kind of test, because I thought I was having a heart attack. And I think because of what I was describing to them, they probably thought, well, maybe she could be having a heart attack. I don't know. And so they did all the testing or whatever, and they didn't tell me anything right there. They just said, well, I said, so does it look okay? Is everything fine? Like, because, you know, they was not saying nothing while they were listening or checking whatever. And he was like, and the technician guy was like, oh, well, the doctor will tell you whatever he or she sees. And I'm like, okay. So we get into the room finally, and I'm in there kind of nervous, like, oh God, I'm about to die. We're in there, and they come in finally, and they were like, well, your heart is perfect. Nothing's wrong with your heart. He was like, the only thing that I can see is that you're anemic. I was like, well, yeah, I knew that. I haven't been taking my iron pills. That I know. I've been anemic forever. It's probably why I'm so pale. But I was like, really? So once they said that, I kind of calmed down. I was feeling my normal self. I was good. I'm like, okay, cool. We go home. I feel kind of jittery still a little bit. Like I had like a nervous kind of feeling come over me a little, but it would go away. So I was like, okay. after that, you know, I felt better. You know, I didn't have that feeling for almost 2 to 3 weeks. So one night, you know, Terrence, he was at work. He had just left for work. I had just gotten finished feeding the kids, and you know, the kids were going to bed because, you know, they had school or whatever. And I was cleaning up the kitchen, and I remember after I cleaned the kitchen up, sometimes I would get like a cup of water to take upstairs in my room and drink some water before I go to bed. I head upstairs into my room, and all my children are asleep. I sit on my bed, cut my light off, and I'm about to lay down. As soon as I lay down on the pillow, that feeling started coming back, but it was so strong. Like, the feeling was coming so strong, and by the time I sat up, oh y'all, it was so scary. I literally thought I was dying. I started screaming. I couldn't breathe. Like, I jumped out of my bed. I ran into my oldest daughter's bedroom, and I was just remember saying, Avion, something's wrong with me. You need to call 911. You need to call 911. I could not breathe. My chest was getting tight. My head was spinning. It felt like it was about to explode. Like, come here, Bugs. Let's go, shit. Yeah, I had a guest interrupt me. He's sleepy, but he came downstairs. He was asleep, but I'm gonna finish my story with my baby boy. But y'all, but I told my daughter, I was like, Yanni, you need to call 911. Something's wrong with me. I didn't know. I saw a lot of stuff growing up. My mother, she was sick a lot. She had, you know, epilepsy and, you know, things like that. So I didn't know if I was about to have a seizure. I know it's not hereditary, but like, I didn't know if I was about to have a seizure. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know if I was having a heart attack. It was just so scary. So she calls 911. And my oldest daughter doesn't know what to say. So she, like, I just grabbed the phone. I was like, ma'am, I need the ambulance. Something's wrong with me. I have my kids here and I don't know what's wrong. I don't know if I'm having a heart attack. I can't breathe. I need help. I need help. And she's like, ma'am, you have to quit yelling at me. You have to quit yelling at me. And I'm like, I'm not trying to. I'm sorry, but something is wrong with me. I need help. And she was like, okay, if you can calm down and quit yelling at me, you just give me your address so I can get an ambulance out there. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm telling her, and I'm just like, she was like, stay on the phone with me. They will be there shortly. And I'm like, tell them to please hurry. My daughters are crying. They're so scared. And I'm telling them to stay up with me, because if something happens, like, I don't want them to fall asleep and wake up and I'm dead or something. So we go downstairs because the lady tells me to go, because the dispatcher tells me to go downstairs and unlock the door. So when they get here, they can come in. So I go downstairs and I'm just like pacing the floor, like terrified, pacing the floor. All of a sudden I see the red and blue lights flashing, and it's a big old ambulance and a fire truck. For whatever reason, the fire truck came. They come in my house, and it was a Chinese guy and a white guy, and the white guy was like, she's having a panic attack. And I'm just like, what the hell? So they told me to sit down. They was like, breathe, just calm down, just breathe. He was like, hold your breath for 5 seconds, exhale. And then they gave me an oxygen mask or whatever and put that on me. I'm like so scared. I don't have no clue of what's going on. And then finally they started talking to me, because when they were giving me the oxygen, I started to kind of calm down. And he was like, okay, ma'am, you're having a panic attack. You are having a very severe panic attack. He was like, what's going on? Are you okay at home? Is someone harming you? And I was like, no, nobody's harming me. He was like, have you been under stress? What's going on? And I was like, I mean, no, not that I can think of. I don't think so. I was like, my friend died recently, and, you know, I was like, that's the only thing that popped up in my head. I was like, my friend died recently. I didn't talk about doing makeup and stuff to him and everything, and it's my kid's situation. But I was like, but I mean, I'm not stressed or whatever. I don't think so. And he was like, well, ma'am, you're just having a very severe panic attack. They checked my blood pressure. They said it was a little high, probably because I was panicking like a crazy person. But other than that, they were like, okay, you're okay. They were like, do you want to go to the hospital? I was like, no. Like, I have my kids here. I'm not leaving my babies home in the middle of the night. No, I'm not going. And he was just like, well, just make sure you breathe. Just breathe and relax. And he was like, you just need to calm down, and maybe you need to see a doctor and talk to someone. I was like, maybe. I was kind of calm after I realized I wasn't dying and that it was a panic attack from what they told me. So I was more relieved. And yeah, when they left or whatever, my daughters got back in the bed. Terrence finally had called back because Avion had called him, but he couldn't answer the phone, I guess. And she left him a message and was crying. So he was scared and he didn't know if he needed to come home. So when he called, I told him, no, you don't need to come home. I'm okay. The ambulance came. I'm okay. They just told me I had a panic attack. He was like, are you sure I will come home now? And I was like, no, it's okay. Just stay at work. Because he had just started a new job. I was like, no, I'm okay. Just stay at work, babe. I'm okay. I'm okay. And so when I laid down, I kind of felt still kind of shaky. And I felt like my panic attack was kind of trying to come back. But I did that breathing. I did that breathing for like 15 minutes until I dozed off. And whew, I was good. But y'all, that was the scariest feeling I had ever had in my life. Like, it was so scary. Like, I thought I was dying. And what scared me more is because I was at home with my kids and I didn't want them to see me die in front of them. Like, I was scared. Like, for those of you that have anxiety and panic attacks, like, that stuff is the scariest in the world. You know, I did eventually, you know, find out that I'm considered a worrier. I just can't help it. I'm a mother, and you know, I like to make sure everything is in order. I know how to control it when a lot of stuff is going on and I'm feeling overwhelmed. I just try to go in my corner and breathe, because I'm not one for medicine. I don't do all that medicine. I saw what a lot of medicine did to my mother, and I ain't got time to be spazzing out over some damn medicine that's probably gonna kill me in the long run. But you know, my breathing works. And to be honest, I haven't had a panic attack in close to it's been about 6 months. If you have panic attacks or anxiety issues and you don't have anyone to talk to, because Terrence eventually would talk to me and walk me through it if I was having one. Like, talk to somebody, especially if you don't want to do medicine. But some people have it so bad that they may need to have medicine. Me, I hope mine never get that bad. I hope I stop becoming a worrier. I hope you enjoyed the story. It wasn't that exciting or anything, but you know, I'm gonna tell all kinds of stories. You know, not everything's gonna be about Bob. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the story. And Talik, you want to say bye? And my baby hurt his head. That's what that spot is. You want to say bye? Bye. Okay, you wanted to get something to drink? Yeah. Okay, and then you gonna go to sleep with mommy tonight? Yeah. Okay, you don't have to sleep in your bed. You can sleep with mommy. All right, see you in the next video. Bye, loves.